All right, today, guys, we're working on subtracting fractions with like denominators. So Monday and Tuesday of this week, we worked on adding those fractions. Now we're going to look at subtracting those fractions. I think you're going to like this even better than addition because the answers are simplified, and I'll show you what I mean as we go. So first lesson, it's going to start with the number line. If you have one whole, and here it is on the number line, and you subtract, notice they're going backwards, right? 1/4 of a fraction, 1/4. Where do you end up? Well, you end up at 3/4. How about if you start at 5/8? Right here they start at 5/8. They take 1/8 away. Where do they end up? 4/8. So you're starting at 5/8. You take 1/8 away, and you get 4/8. And here's the whole problem. No numerators are filled in, but you'll see that common denominator all the way through. It stays the same. We're starting at 3/5. We're taking 1/5 away and ending up at 2/5. So it would look like this. 3/5 minus 1/5 equals 2/5. So just like adding fractions, if you have that common denominator, all you're doing is subtracting your numerator. 3 minus 1 is 2. Another example, you're starting at 5/10. You're taking 1/10 away. That makes 4/10. And one last one, you start at 2/3. You take 1/3 away, and you end up at 1/3. So pretty straightforward there. Now we're going to look at the second IXL is going to have subtracting fractions without that number line. So you're just looking at the problem. So right away we know we're going to keep that denominator, right? Common denominator all the way through. And all you have to do is 2 minus 1. Believe it or not, it's that simple. Again, keeping that denominator the same. Now it's an 1/8. And I just have to do 5 minus 3, which is 2. And the next one here, common denominator, is going to be 1/8 again. And then just 7 minus 6 is 1. I think you're going to find these subtracting fractions to be pretty darn simple. You also don't have to worry about, for instance, when you add fractions, sometimes when you add fractions, you get more than one whole and get that improper fraction. And then you have to simplify that or decompose it and turn it into a mixed number, which would be 1 whole and 1/5. When you subtract fractions, the answers are getting less or smaller, not bigger than 1 whole, but you're getting those smaller answers, so you won't have to simplify like you do with addition. So this step is taken out of the equation. I think you're going to find subtracting fractions to be pretty basic.